If you're using intermittent fasting for weight loss and you're not quite getting the results that you're looking for, this video is going to give you 5 tips to cheat a little bit and get the most out of your intermittent fasting. You're putting the effort in anyways, you might as well get the most out of it. Let's jump in.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
To maximize your results from intermittent fasting, the first step I'd love to see you do is to take a fasted walk in the morning. Before you've eaten anything, while you're still fasting, going for a walk can really help the body burn fat. You're really set up to burn fat already, and you want that walk to be relatively easily. You should still be able to carry on a conversation. You don't want to be breathing so hard that you can't tell your neighbor about the show you saw last night. You really want it to be a walk where the body is really set up to burn that stored fat and use it for fuel. Now, to maximize this even more, make sure that the night before you're not eating a lot of carbohydrates or sugars. So your dinner should be more like protein, green vegetables, and some dietary fats. You don't want to spike insulin too high, because when insulin is high, it blocks the body's ability to burn stored fat for fuel. And insulin can take a lot longer to come down than blood sugar takes to come down. So the night before, if you can have a low carbohydrate meal, then you're really setting yourself up to burn fat on that fasted walk the next morning. And if you're using a ketogenic diet, that fasted walk can actually increase your body's ability to make more ketones. So if you're having a hard time getting into a good state of ketosis, a fasted walk is a great way to give yourself a boost. The second step is to kind of make your body more of a fat burner. So when we're looking at clients' bio-individuality and we're helping them run self-tests to look at their body chemistry at home, we can get an idea if a person is leaning more towards being a carb burner or a fat burner. And the body should really be able to burn glucose for fuel and fat for fuel, but people can get a little bit stuck and maybe their body's preferring to burn one over the other. So if your body is stuck burning carbohydrates more, it's going to prefer to burn those carbs. It's not going to want to access that stored fat and burn it for fuel. So one step you can take to move towards this is to not eat so many carbohydrates and sugars. If you're eating a lot of carbohydrates and sugars, and especially if you're eating junk food and then like, oh, I'm just gonna fast because I'll still lose weight if I'm fasting, because all the cool kids lose weight when they're fasting, it just doesn't work that well. You really want to lower your carbohydrate intake so that your body will lean more towards burning fat. But that also means you need to consume some fat. If you're living in the 80s and wearing parachute pants and still eating a low-fat diet because you think that's the healthiest thing, it's a mistake. You really have to give your body good dietary fats so that it's more willing to burn the stored fat. But this also means that you need to be able to digest those dietary fats. We use our bile to digest our dietary fats. So bile helps us emulsify or break down these fats, and the bile is made by the liver and then it's stored in the gallbladder. But it's really common for someone's bile to become too thick and sticky to flow correctly, and if that bile's not flowing down and meeting those digested foods that come out of the stomach, then we're not really going to be able to break down those dietary fats and use them correctly. So my book, Kick Your Fat in the Nuts, walks you through how to figure out, are there aspects of digestion that are not working correctly? And if so, what steps you can take to improve those. And the book is available on Amazon, but I'm going to put a link in the description below this video so you can get the whole thing totally for free. And it'll also walk you through those simple self-tests you can do to see, am I leaning too far on this carb burner side? And what steps can I take to help my body become more of a fat burner? And step number 3 is to eat more nutrient-rich foods. You know, when we're using intermittent fasting, we're really kind of triggering the body to use stored fat for fuel. We want it to burn that fat so that our pants will fit again. The problem is, if things are set up, your body really can burn the stored fat, but eventually it's going to need nutrients, it's going to need minerals, it's going to need amino acids, it's going to need all these vitamins that are supposed to come in on the food that we're eating. But if we're eating all this packaged junk or food that is not grown properly and doesn't really have the nutrients in it anymore, we're not really getting all those nutrients. So when the body's not getting these nutrients, that stresses the body out, which can raise these stress hormones that tell the body, hey, why don't you just break down your own tissues and you can pull the nutrients out of there. So cellular breakdown is a great benefit from intermittent fasting. It's one of the things that kind of helps the body break down the old and build up the new. But you don't want the body so stressed that it's breaking down the new as well and just looking for nutrients. You really want to give the body the nutrients that it needs so that it can function the way that it wants to function without raising all these stress hormones. Raising stress hormones can also tell the body to store more fuel as fat because we're in this emergency situation. To really burn stored body fat, the body needs to feel good about what's going on. It feels good when it has the nutrients it needs. So instead of eating, toaster pastries and all this processed junk, you really want to eat real, organic, grass-fed food so that you can get the nutrients in that food. Step number 4 is to check in on your electrolyte status. If your body doesn't have enough minerals, then it's really going to have a hard time functioning the way that it wants to function. And if the body's getting its minerals from the food that we're eating, then going without food while we're fasting is going to stress the body out. I already don't have enough minerals in here. Now you're going to skip more meals and give me even less minerals? So one way that you can check this out is just look at your blood pressure at least 2 hours after a meal, but not first thing in the morning. It shouldn't be fasted, it should be after a meal. And if your systolic blood pressure is less than 112, that's a really strong sign that there's not enough minerals in the system to allow the body to function correctly. And this is usually the case because of some of those digestive malfunctions that we were talking about. If digestion isn't working the way that it's supposed to, you can't really bust that food apart and pull all the minerals out of that food. So when the minerals go low and the body can't complete all the functions that it wants to function, it's going to stress out, raise those stress hormones, and restrict our ability to burn that stored fat for fuel. So we really want to make sure that we're getting the electrolytes in. Now you can supplement with some electrolytes to lift your mineral levels, but the best way is to actually fix those digestive malfunctions so that your body can get the minerals out of the food that you're eating anyways. Do you know that that's why we eat food? To get the minerals and the nutrients out of that food. So we really want to maximize that ability. If you're dealing with any digestive symptoms, you really want to correct those so that you can get those minerals out of your food. And step number 5 to maximize your intermittent fasting results is for you to hate me. Now, you hating me is probably not really going to increase your results, but me telling you step number 5 is going to make you hate me. And that's to lose the alcohol. It's time to become a little bit realistic here. If you're really trying to lose weight, but you still want to go out and drink it up with your friends, it's going to be disappointing. The results are not going to be what you're looking for. Think about this. Alcohol is a form of liquid sugars, and liquid sugars hit our bloodstream and spike insulin even higher than normal sugars. So these liquid sugars are a big problem. Would you go out with your friends and eat 5 candy bars and think that you were going to lose weight? You wouldn't do that. That wouldn't make sense. But these liquid sugars is just like eating 5 candy bars. Because of the way that the liquid can get into your system faster and those sugars get right into the bloodstream and create this response, it's almost like you're eating candy bars. So if you're really trying to reach a goal, just drop the alcohol. Wait until you hit that goal and then use the alcohol reasonably. It's just the best way to make it happen. And some people can still see results by, I'm just going to have 1 drink and I'm only going to do that occasionally, or I'm going to have my drink after I eat my dinner so that the alcohol goes in and hits the bloodstream a little slower because that food is in there slowing things down. Some people can see results with that, but most people just need to drop the alcohol. It's also a lot easier to remove the alcohol altogether when you make the decision to drop it. You don't have to have that argument with yourself. Is tonight going to be the night that I have a drink, or should I wait till Thursday? If you just drop it all, it's a lot easier because that decision is done. But to see the real results, most people are going to lose the alcohol. And when you understand that 1 liquid sugar drink like that is going to be equivalent to eating a couple of candy bars, it makes a lot more sense. Now, these are great tips to boost your results, but for a lot of people, to really see results, you need to remove the mistakes that you're making. So what I want you to do right now is jump over to our video on the 5 biggest intermittent fasting mistakes so you can rule those out and get those out of the way so you can really see these benefits. I can't wait to hear about your results.